Hi, I'm Lance with Up-Rite Support System. Today we're going to be viewing our standard 6-foot lodgepole system. It's a single-sided stake, uses galvanized fence posts, and basically our main item here is the reusable, recycled, adjustable arm. Basic tools you need for this job. We showed up to this tree here, and it had already been staked before with the standard wooden lodgepole systems. But basically you'll need your arm, your 3-foot base pole, then you'll have your middle or your swedge piece. Combines basically your footing piece to your 6-footer. The 6-footer is a standard, it's designed for the 24-inch box tree. You could use it in many other applications, but it's kind of set up for that. You could go all the way up to 20-footers. It is a steel arm, so it's going to be strong enough for any of your prevailing winds or your seasonal winds, earthquakes, bad soil, good soil. It really just works great. So basically what we've got here is we've showed up to this tree and it's already been staked with the existing system. We're going to go ahead and yank those out as soon as we get some concrete going here. What I've already done here is I've dug my footing hole already, and typically we like to stay at least 3 foot. This is some really good hard ground here, so I went to about 29 inches, just under 3 foot. Should be just fine with a full sack of cement. Kind of a rule of thumb, if your tree like this one here is actually a pretty good specimen, it's pretty straight as it is, so we're not really correcting anything, just a good scenario. It's not always like that. So a quick trick I like to use to locate your hole for your pole is I just take my post hole diggers, which is going to be essentially the center of your 6-foot or your upright pole. I'll go ahead and just take an 18-inch measurement off the center of the tree to the center of my post. As you can see, I've already dug the hole. That'll get you pretty much square, and you have at least 3 to 4 inches of movement from there. Some of the things you'll need for this is obviously your post hole diggers, standard, your 6-footer, your swedge, your 3-footer, your upright arm of course, tape measure, just any impact wrench. You could still use regular manual tools, but you know, makes things a lot quicker with the impact wrench. We got that, 60-pound sack of concrete, and about 1.5 gallons or so of water. If you're just doing one tree, I'm set up to do a few more here today, so I've got a little bit more. But yeah, basically we'll take the next step and get our pole set up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to assemble our pole. I've already got one set up here. Basically we're using 5/16 set screws. Get them at any local hardware store. You could go bigger. I wouldn't go any smaller. Then actually probably 3/8 is really the best. What basically that consists of is you got your 3-foot foundation piece or your footing piece. In turn you'll have your, what makes it removable, your swedge piece, tech screw, your 6-footer all the way on, another tech screw, essentially giving you your final pole. So I've already got my hole dug. We're just about the right amount of distance away from the tree. So what we'll do is we'll set her in there, grab my level, just to kind of give me an idea where I need to be measurement wise, and it was that 18 inches. That's your center of your strap to the center of the pole. Open up our concrete. So now that I'm close, I got my pole in, we're close to plumb. I'm going to go ahead and open our 60-pounder. I like to get it as close to the hole as possible to keep less mess. And if you get the proper depth, We're going to pour pretty much the whole bag in. I usually do about a quarter of the bag, then I'll kind of plumb myself up just a little bit more. Make sure I'm close. Again, do like that quarter bag and then give it a little bit of water. A little more concrete. Wow. And some more water. Okay, we'll double check where we're at. Again, you're looking for that 18 inches, approximately. And there we have it. So once we've got our concrete in there and our water, I usually like to take your dig bar or whatever you got handy, just kind of give it a couple holes, let that water really soak into the bottom of your foundation. See, it's a little dry. I'll add some more water. Really tamps it down good and gets it nice and strong. Double check that we're still level. Now the pole itself has a little bit of movement, which it's supposed to have for the tree to grow properly strong. That movement is basically at your joint with your swedge piece or your connector between the foundation piece and your 6-footer. So as long as you're pretty much level, you're going to have that bit of flex for the tree's safety. So what we have here, we've set our pole, we're plumb, we've got our backfilled concrete footing. Next is going to be to attach the arm. Now typically in this scenario with these 24-inch box trees, you know, you'd be setting maybe 10, maybe 20 poles all at once. Give it some time to cure depending on what concrete you're using, and then maybe come back later that day, maybe come back tomorrow and actually place your arm. However, in this case, we've done our measurements correctly. The tree is already pretty much plumb and straight on its own and pretty healthy. So we're going to go ahead and demo the rest of the existing stake, and we're going to go ahead and arm this thing up so you guys can see it. The next thing we need to do is demo and get rid of this old lodgepole system. Sometimes you have to fight with these, but not as easy to remove as the upright. And the nursery stick. Already you can start seeing that we're going to have a much cleaner look by the end of this as well. Voila. Now the secret ingredient. I always like to take these straps off one side only first. Which makes it a lot easier on yourself. Take my level off. First two, you want to kind of look at the tree. Where does it need to be cradled? Where was it cradled before? Was it a good spot? Was it a bad spot? See, we're just a little bit tight on our fasteners still. Full impact, 17 millimeter. So now what we're looking for is a nice, healthy point in this tree where it needs to be cradled. It was cradled here. We're going to give that some time to heal. Move it down a little bit as the tree grows up. See, we're already getting some wind here. This arm, as you can see, with the different notches and the different holes here, we can adjust up to 4 to 5 inches in case you got pipes in your way or rocks, just about anything. 17 millimeter impact. Now you don't need to cinch these down all at once. Kind of like tightening lug nuts on your car. You want to do them evenly. Then we get here to the flange. You can kind of see this rubber, it'll start to squeeze. This rubber is going to last you a lot longer if you get it good and snug, but not overly tight. These here you can snug up really well. And there we have it. Nice clean look. Oh, almost forgot. Finish it off with our cap. Done deal. As we're watching this wind here in the upright in action, we have one last thing that we want to do to our arm to keep it from twisting and turning, and that's just add this simple set screw. And that'll keep it from twisting and moving as the wind tries to carry it. There it is. Up-Rite tree support system. Last thing we should talk about today is your backfill. One little important hint: earlier we were talking about where your foundation piece was. That's your 3-footer. Now, if you notice the set screw here, I've got it below grade, but not too much to where in the future when you're going to come to remove the system and use it on the next tree, you don't want it so far down to where you can't reach it. Basically, we're just going to backfill this. It'll be a light soil to where you can always come back and use your same impact tool and remove those set screws, take your upright, and keep on going down the road. You always want to get a couple shovelfuls in there. Again, like we did with the concrete, tamp it down a bit. Just makes it a little stronger. It's not mandatory, but there we have it. Now it pretty much is left. We'll just put this bark and mulch and whatnot back on the cover, and we're good to go. Now we have a nice, clean, single-sided system, strong galvanized metal, recycled steel arm, reusable, completely everything here that you see, with the exception of your foundation piece. That's going to be the only thing that's going to stay in the ground. Everything else, you can take it with you year after year, tree after tree.